Hey, Captain Logos here, preacher at large, teaching the word inspiring, 5 minutes at a time. Hey, I'm in Ezekiel 2 today, and I came across this. And now Ezekiel 2 is in the Old Testament, so we got 2,000 years from the birth of Christ to about now, a little bit more, and then maybe 500 to 1,000 years prior to that. So we're talking possibly 3,000 years ago. This was written, Ezekiel 2. And if you read that, it's a short verse, or it's a short chapter. But I've seen all these parallels, once again, to what's going on in today's society. I'm like, God, how do you do that? Did you write this seeing what was happening today, even though it was written possibly 3,000 years ago? It says the Spirit picked up Ezekiel, right? He picked him up. And it says he put him on his feet. So the Spirit did. Literally picked him up, put him on his feet. So God wanted to get Ezekiel's attention. You know how you do when you got to tell something to your kid, right? And you want to make sure he hears you or she hears you. You make sure they look you in the eye. Hey, come here. No. Stand up. Look at me. Look. Make eye contact. Okay. Now listen. So that's basically exactly what God did through the Spirit to Ezekiel. So just like a child, he picked him up, looked him in the eye, and said, "I got something to tell you." Well, the something to tell him was, you're going to go speak to these rebellious people. Here's the words I'm going to give you. But you're going to speak to these rebellious people. He actually said they're stubborn and obstinate. Does that sound familiar? There's a lot of folks that are stubborn and obstinate out there right now, rebelling against God, all this kind of crazy stuff going on, right? But God's grace is so gracious that even in people's rebellion, he sends people to them to witness. And you need to witness. Ezekiel didn't want to go witness these people. They were rebellious people. But God told him, I don't care. Go speak the word I give you to them. And not only speak that word, but he also said, I don't care if they listen. You're going to speak to them. Yeah, you ever not wanted to say something to somebody because you knew they wouldn't listen? God already covered that. He just told them, hey, look, I don't care if they don't listen, but you're still going to tell them. So the next thing that happens is he tells them, you may fear the people, but God said don't fear them. You may fear what they say, but don't fear what they say. He says you're in the midst of thorns and thistles and scorpions. He says, but don't be afraid. Don't be dismayed at their presence. A lot of stuff we're like, holy smokes, what are these people thinking? God tells them not to be dismayed. It's pretty hard not to be dismayed at some of the stuff that's happening today, but God tells us not to. But we still got to witness. So the message today, we got to speak the word. God has already given us his word through the Holy Scriptures. He doesn't need to pick us up and tell us anymore. He gave us the great commission to go ye therefore into the world, teach, preach, baptize, make disciples, all that kind of good stuff, right? Now, it's our job as Christians, all Christians, not just preachers and teachers, not just Captain Logos, everybody, preach the word through your life. Teach the word through your life. The word has to go forth. God is telling you to send the word. And he knows there's a rebellious and obstinate people out there. He knows that you might be afraid of what they say, but he tells you don't be afraid and speak his words. Speak his words. Now, go get your face in the Bible.